So hello students, from today onwards we are going to discuss about the discrete mathematics. Okay, so this is the subject that is very important in the computer science and it is very useful for your future point of view. Like if you are doing a GATE examination, or if you are doing any PhD research or anything research oriented work in the future, or algorithm related work in the future, then discrete mathematics is very important subject for this all purpose. Okay, so let's start with the discussion about the discrete mathematics. The first point is, what is discrete mathematics? Okay, so you might be aware about the two different types of clocks. Okay, so one clock is the analog clock and the another clock is the digital clock. Now what is the difference between the analog clock and the digital clock, that we need to discuss here. Okay, so in the analog clock you will get the continuous time. Okay, means the time is continuous, means if you ask me that this is 12 hour 11 minutes and this 1 second and 1 microseconds. Okay, so everything is visible or everything is displayed there. Okay, so there are the hands. Okay, we called it as the needles of the clock. Okay, and they are continuously moving from in the circular motion. Okay, so it gives you the contiguous contiguous values. Okay, of numbers like 1.1, 1.2, 1.22, 1.23, like this kind of values you are getting whenever you are using an analog clock. Okay, but in the digital clock you are getting a value in the discrete manner. Okay, what is mean by discrete? Means if I am talking about any particular time like 12 hours 11 minutes and 7 seconds. Okay, so next time is 12 hour 11 minutes 8 seconds. Okay, so you are not getting the time in between 7 and 8 seconds. Okay, so this is called a discrete values. Okay, so we need to know which kind of functions are using in the mathematics whenever we are getting a contiguous value and the discrete values. Okay, so we always studied, or we already gone through the functions or differential equations, integral calculus in the previous semesters or in the 11th and 12th standard. So those functions, integral functions, calculus and differential equations, these values or these approach are used on the contiguous values. Okay, whereas in this subject, in the discrete mathematics, we need to discuss about the discrete values. Okay, and we need to analyze the data, we need to separate the values uh, in the discrete ways. Okay, so that's why this subject is very important, because whatever the thing we are doing, okay, means if you are developing any algorithm, so you needs to give a discrete values, means a fixed value. Okay, because if you are getting a continuous value, then that will be a very difficult to analyze the result of any algorithm or any machine. Okay, so let's see here. I just want to discuss why do we learn the discrete mathematics. Okay, so this is the next question, why we learn the discrete mathematics. Okay, so this course provides some mathematical foundations and the skills that you need in your further studies. Okay, as I already told you, if you want to pursue your higher education, or if you want to do a research or writing a new algorithms, so in that case you need to know these mathematical skills, discrete mathematical skills. Okay, and this is very important for the information technology and computer science domain. Okay, so in the discrete mathematics we basically includes these four topics like logic, counting methodology, relations, functions, then recursion relations, generating functions, introduction of graph theory and graph theories, group theory, sorry, then lattice theory, then Boolean algebra. Because basically this is the subject you have studied in this third semester. Okay, so in the fourth semester, fifth semester, sixth semester, you will get all these things. Okay, means what is meant by relation functions, what is meant by recursion relation. Okay, this is also a very important topic in terms of analysis of the algorithm. Okay, so in the next semester you might be having this subject, analysis and design of algorithm. In that case, this is the very important topic, guys. Then in the data structure you already know graph theory, and in this subject only we need to know the group theory and all these things. Okay, algebraic Boolean algebra we need to discuss, then logic, counting methods we need to discuss in this subject. Okay, so basically it is the combination, of 2-3 subjects, and whatever the mathematical skills required to deal with those subjects, that mathematical skills you need to develop in this subject. Okay, I hope you got some idea about the discrete mathematics. Okay, so let's start with this unit number 1, that is mathematical logic and the properties of integers. Okay, so basically logic, you know. Okay, so and, or, not statements, you might be know this. Okay, so in the 12th standard or in the previous semester you might be know the AND gate, NOT gate, OR gate, all these things, or in the digital logic also these things are involved in the syllabus. Okay, then we need to discuss properties of integers. Okay, so this is also a very important topic to discuss in the unit number 1. Okay, so let's start. Mathematical logic. Okay, so mathematical logic basically assumed as a exact science. Okay, so why it is exact science? Because every statement in the mathematics must be precise. Okay, means whatever the statement you are writing into the mathematics, the answer should be a precise. Okay, means there should not be any ambiguity between the answers. Okay, means if you wrote any statement like a plus b is equals to x. Okay, so the value of x is depends on a and b. Okay, so if you change the value of a and b, then you will get a different values of x. Okay, but if we are talking about 2 plus 3 equals to 5, then this is called a precise statement, guys. Okay, so basically mathematical logic is the exact science, means every statement of mathematics is must to be a precise. Okay, also there can be a mathematics without proofs, and each proof needs a proper reasoning. Okay, so you know in the mathematics we always need to study about the proofs. Okay, means if you are writing any statements, you need to prove that why you are writing that statement into the mathematics. Okay, that's why proofing technique also we need to discuss in this subject. Okay, next is logic has a numerous application in the computer science to verify the correctness of the program. Again, we generally use a logical statement in the programming language. I hope you already studied these kind of things like if statement, else statement, then for loops and all. Conditional statements you might be know. So guys, this is the very important thing that you need to know whenever you are developing any software or any algorithm or anything. So these logical statements contributes very good things into the program. Okay guys, so let's start the discussion on the propositional logic. So first of all we need to see what is meant by propositional or what is meant by statement basically. Okay, so I might know how you can write a propositional logic statement. Okay, means a and b. Okay, and then whatever the result you are getting, that result is the ultimate result. Okay, so let's see here what is the definition. The area of a logic that deals with a proposition is called a propositional calculus and propositional logic. Okay, so basically the area which deals with the logical statements. Okay, so that statements we called it as a propositional logic statements or the propositional calculus. Okay, basically propositions means what? A statement. Okay, so see here with the example you will get an idea about the statement and what is meant by proposition. Okay, a proposition is a declarative sentence that is either true or false, but not both. Okay, so whenever you are getting a answer of your statement, that answer might be a true or false. Okay, means you are getting a discrete value. Okay, means either true मिलेगा या तो false मिलेगा. That's it. Okay, in between कुछ भी नहीं. So see here, imperative, exclamatory, interrogative and the open statement are not the logical statements. Okay, and if the statement is not logical, it means it is not a proposition. Okay, see here, VSSUT is at Burla. Okay, so this is the statement, means this VSSUT is present in the Burla. This statement might be a true, might be a false, but not both. true or false. Okay, that's why this is called a propositional logic. Okay, or this is called a proposition. Okay, 2 plus 3 equals to 5. This statement might be true, might be false. Okay, so that's why this is also a proposition. The sun rises in the east. Okay, means this statement might be true or false. That's why this is also a proposition. Do your homework. Okay, so can you have the answer in the true or false statement, or in the true or false? No. Do your homework is just a command, or it's just a order. Okay, that's why this is not a proposition. Okay. The next statement is, this is the question. Okay, what are you doing? Okay, so answer of this question is not in the form of true and false. That's why this is not a proposition. Okay, 2 plus 4 is equals to 8. So can you give any answer about true and false for this statement? Yes, this statement is false because 2 plus 4 is 6, not 8. Means you are getting false here. Okay, so if you are getting true or false value, then that is the proposition. So this is proposition, guys. 5 is less than 4. Again, this is false. Means you can you can directly identify the statement is true or false. That's why this is again a proposition. The square of 5 is 15. Okay, again this statement is false, and you are able to identify the statement is false or true. Then this is a proposition. X plus 3 equals to 2. Now see here, guys, you don't know the value of x, so that you cannot predict this statement is true or false. This statement might be true, this statement might be false. Okay, that's why this is not a proposition. Okay, may God bless you. Okay, so this is not a statement. Okay, so see here you are getting some answers. Okay, see, this is proposition, this is proposition, this is proposition, this is command, this is question. Means command and question are not in the form of proposition. This is also a proposition, statement number 6. This is proposition, this is proposition. This is not a proposition because you don't know the value of x. That's why you cannot say that this statement is true or false. That's why this is a declarative statement, and you know, may God bless you, this is the explanatory statement. Okay, so this is not in the form of proposition. Okay, so those statements for which you can able to tell that this statement is true or false, those statements are a proposition statement. I hope you are getting my point, how to identify the proposition. Okay, so let's start with the compound statement. Many propositions are composite, that are composed of sub-proposition and various connectives discussed subsequently. Okay, so whenever you connect to proposition, okay, you know what is meant by proposition. Proposition is nothing but a statement. So whenever you connect to proposition, then it will be converted to a compound statement, guys. Okay, and to connect this proposition, you need to have some connectives. Okay, and that connectives we need to discuss in the next lecture. But see here, what is meant by composite statement, that you need to clear from this slide. Okay, such a composition proposition are called a compound proposition. Okay, see here, the sun is a shining today. Okay, so the answer of this statement, only this half statement, is you can give in the form of true or false. Means this is the proposition. It is colder than yesterday. Okay, means for this statement also you can give answer in true or false. That's why both the statements are proposition. And what you are doing here, you are using a connectives and, okay, and you are connecting these two proposition here. Okay, that's why this complete statement called as a compound statement. Okay, Sita is intelligent, so you can give answer true in the form of true and false. If she is intelligent, then true. If she is not intelligent, then it is false. Okay, she studies every night. Okay, so if she studies every night, then you can give answer it true. And if she is not studied every night, then you can give answer false. Okay, means you are able to give answer into the form of true and false for both the statements. Means both the statements are proposition. Okay, and if you are connecting these two proposition with the help of this and, means this and is called a connectives. Okay, this and is called a connectives. Okay, so we need to see this different types of connectives in my subsequent lectures. Okay, so that I will discuss later on. First of all, you need to clear with the concept of compound statement. Okay, proposition is said to be a primitive if it is cannot be broken down into a simple propositions, that is if it is not composite. Okay, so if you are not able to break the statement, okay, so you can able to break this statement, you are able to break this statement. Okay, but there are some statement which are not, you are not able to break. Okay, break into the smaller statements, then such statements are called as primitive. Okay, see this definition: a proposition is said to be primitive if it cannot be broken down into the simple propositions. Okay, so you might be you might be having an idea about what is meant by proposition, what is meant by compound statement, and what is meant by primitive statements. Okay, so in the next lecture we will see about the different logical operator and different logical connectives, okay, which we discussed here. Okay, this is and is also a connective. Okay, so we need to discuss about the different kind of connectives. Okay, so let's see you in the next class. Thank you.